Hi, Millie Ball here to take you through the week on HRTV. Chris Block joined Race Day America to talk about his runner in the My Charmer. Ask, but I won't tell.
I really felt that in the Spinster we had a great chance, and she had trained really well into it, had run well on synthetics before. I don't have an explanation for the poor performance there. We left there without an answer, scratching our heads, wondering what went wrong. And she did come out of that race in good shape. So we thought, well, if you look back at one of her better races this year, was the Modesty at Arlington, and to finish fifth, beating 3 lengths to some real solid horses in there. We thought we should try the turf again. So she trained well between the Spinster and the Cardinal, and she went out there and moved forward, in my opinion, on the turf, and which she certainly can do both synthetic and turf, but maybe the turf might be her better surface. I know it's Calder is probably a little faster turf course. I have never run much of Calder, so I'm not real familiar with it, but this filly seems to adapt about whatever you put her on. She has run at Gulfstream, which I think both Calder and Gulfstream turfs are, in my opinion, and people might disagree with me, but I think there is some similarities there. And she ran well over there as early on as a 3-year-old in her career. So, but this gal does about anything you ask her. I don't think she'll allow the surface to be a factor today.
They're all in line. And they're off. And Trip for AJ came out beautifully toward the inside and goes right out for the lead. Evading Tompette going to keep her company in the early going. Miss World just in behind them. Volver out on the far outside. They're followed by Goldoro. Cherokee Queen is down along the hedge and only a length and a half off the lead. Then it's Patakaitis just in front of Ask, but I Won't Tell, who's on the far outside with 1 lap to go and about 7 lengths off the pace. Then we have You Go West Girl. Mary's Follies has 2 beaten right now. The Niagara Queen and Akalina, who is already a dozen lengths back. The quarter was very slow. 24-3 over the firm going for Trip for AJ, and her lead is about a half a length, but Volver is having nothing of it, and she's coming up to press Trip for AJ as they run for the back stretch. Goldoro has worked her way into the outside third, and Evading Tompette is down on her inside. Cherokee Queen is coming off the head. She is 5th and about 5 lengths off the lead, and stablemate Patakaitis just outside of her. Miss World has 8.5 lengths to make up. Then Ask, but I Won't Tell, clear of Mary's Follies, You Go West Girl, Akalina, and the Niagara Queen. The half mile was a very leisurely 49-2, and they move for the far turn. Trip for AJ and Volver been 1-2 most of the way. Trip for AJ still under a tight tug from John Velasquez, and she's the leader going to the quarter pole. Goldoro got on through, and she's coming up to challenge. Miss World is on the move. Here comes Miss World 3 wide into the stretch, and they're trying to gun down Trip for AJ as they straighten away in the My Charmer. Trip for AJ evading Tompette. Here comes Ask, but I Won't Tell, and she is flying home on the far outside. Trip for AJ, Ask, but I Won't Tell. These two come to dispute it. Ask, but I Won't Tell, and Sean Bridgemahan win the My Charmer.
I don't know how much that outside post hindered Mary's Follies, but a disappointing effort. She finishes off the board. I believe she crossed the wire in 6th place here, Aaron.
Okay, so we got a 10-2-4-6 unofficial top 4. Let's take another look. You know, if the 11 post bothered Mary's Follies, it obviously didn't bother Ask, but I Won't Tell right to her inside.
Just to her inside. Yeah. I mean, let's take a look at the start and see how this thing unfolded. Ask, but I Won't Tell in the green and gold block colors to her outside. The Pampa white colors and DeSormo leaving with Mary's Follies. We've discussed this dog leg here at Calder, and Mary's Follies, see, he's trying to find a spot inside, so it's not a matter of ground loss.
He did not lose any ground if you compare him to Ask, but I Won't Tell.
He did what he was supposed to do. He got her to the hedge.
Great job. I mean, Sean's 4 wide right now.
Yeah. No excuses leaving the gate, and just not up to Ask, but I Won't Tell's level this afternoon. Mary's Follies again off the board in the My Charmer for Ask, but I Won't Tell.
You watch that. She's right behind Ask, but I Won't Tell down the backstretch. Sean had a lot more horse.
Maybe the pace. It was a dawdling opening quarter, 24-3. The half in 49-2 on a firm turf course at Calder.
Yeah, you know, give credit to jockey Sean Bridgman, because you know what, you're right. I mean, the 2 and the 4 were within 2 lengths of each other down the backstretch, and they go second and third across the march.
This week's Lanes End feature race was the Tropical Turf Handicap from Calder Racecourse.
And they're off. El Kingdom comes out running for the lead. Pick a pocket there. Bim Bam in the center of the track. Twilight Meteor on the far outside. Then Super Spectacular. Rahi's Attorney is just in behind the leaders, followed by Rahi Strata, who's already 5.5 lengths off the pace. Then we come down to Midnight Mischief, who's now gone in front of that one and goes over to the rail. Good run there from Midnight Mischief and Kent DeSormo to secure the hedge with 1 lap to go, only 5 lengths from the lead. Pick a Pocket has now dropped back after the good beginning. He's in front of Belletti Alley's Event. The trailers right now, Never on Sunday and Tannersville, who's out in the 3-path and about 15 lengths back after a 23-4 opening quarter. Modest fractions on for Twilight Meteor and Luis Saez as they take him to the backstretch run. Super Spectacular is moved to the 2nd spot. Bim Bam there in and amongst runners, and El Kingdom down along the hedge. They're followed by Rahi's Attorney and Midnight Mischief, who race together only 4 lengths off the lead. Alley's Event has 7.5 to make up. Pick a Pocket is outside of that one. Then Belletti, Never on Sunday, trying to get involved from the back of the pack. Half mile, 47-4 for Twilight Meteor, who is confronted by Super Spectacular going into the turn, but Twilight Meteor not done yet. He is just hand-ridden along and kicks away to lead it over a length now. Twilight Meteor to the quarter pole. He's 1.5 lengths in front. Rahi's Attorney is rallying up on the outside. Super Spectacular. Midnight Mischief swings way out to the outside for his run. El Kingdom still in with a shot. They've got to reel in Twilight Meteor with a furlong to go. Twilight Meteor, Rahi's Attorney's coming at him now on the outside, and Belletti is firing up the inside. It's Twilight Meteor, Rahi's Attorney, Belletti, 3 of them down to the line. Twilight Meteor hangs on in the Tropical Turf.
NYRA President and CEO Charlie Haywood called in to discuss the litigation involving New York's off-track betting.
You know, we're all watching this with a lot of interest. We've made preparations in the event that they do shut down to, have various bus routes. Have 5 different bus routes, 2 in Queens, 2 in Manhattan, and 1 in Brooklyn to pick people up. But we're right on the precipice here.
How financially directly does this affect NYRA, the Horsemen, and everybody involved?
Well, they're our largest customer, and the splits from OTB on the money that's wagered, we get 40% of the money that of our share, and the purses get 60%. The interesting thing is that, though, the New York City OTB, if someone makes a live track bet either through our rewards program or betting here on track, we get about 3 to 4 times as much money, and purses get 4 to 5 times as much money as if it was bet in OTB. So, if we can just direct some of the folks from the parlors to the track or through our phone and internet wagering account, we could, significantly offset the loss of that revenue. So the real impact on NYRA will be hard to tell until, they shut down. We can get through this window and see what's going on. But, never a dull moment in New York racing in New York. That's all I can tell you.
No, never. And Charlie, often when I'm in New York, I'll turn on the OTB channel. Can that function without the New York City OTB up and running?
That's a very good question. The state pays New York City for channels 71 and 73 to provide carriage of not only the NYRA races, but races from around the country through, right up through the end of all live racing, both harness and thoroughbreds. They've paid their payment for City to keep that going until December 14th. That's something, obviously, that helps our business as well. So we're hoping that if for some reason that they do close down, and frankly, I think that they probably will, we're working on ways and see if we can't make sure that that station stays on, because obviously it's very important for our phone business.
On Saturday, Aqueduct featured the Garland of Roses handicap.
And Nicole H. has seized the lead. Nicole H. comes off the turn, handridden here. Tar Heel Mom second now on the inside with 1 furlong to go. Mies Rock's big victory and Love That Dance. Inside the final furlong, Ramon Dominguez just nudging Nicole H. along, and they've got it in the bag. Nicole H. Ramon Dominguez scores yet another one here at the Big A today.
Lorraine Egan of the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation called in to discuss Damon Runyon's impact on horse racing and his legacy against cancer.
So Damon Runyon was one of the most famous journalists in the first half of the 20th century and was a very famous sports writer who covered baseball and horse racing and the full spectrum of sports, and also wrote the short stories that Guys and Dolls, the musical, is based on. And he was a beloved personality in the early 20th century. And he died from cancer in 1946. And the other famous journalist, Walter Winchell, went on his nationally recognized radio state program and asked all of America to send in money to support cancer research, and everybody in America did. And he established the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation in Damon Runyon's memory.
And this was established back in the 1950s, and there are many choices for a cancer foundation to give money to. And some people may say, well, how does this dovetail with horse racing? And it does. You touched upon the fact that Damon Runyon was a sports writer and horse racing journalist. Talk a little bit about some of that background that he had.
Well, he was a real personality, and he knew all the famous personalities in the New York area, and actually was famous for hanging out with a full spectrum of New York characters.
So, Lorraine, when someone says that that's a Damon Runyon type character, does that mean it's sort of a racetrack character?
They have a certain way of talking, and there's a Runyon-esque way of talking, which is very formal and stylized. And I say that he's sort of the father of The Sopranos, because the kinds of characters that were in The Sopranos and shows like that are really from the original Damon Runyon characters, who are many of them were mobsters and dancing girls and things like that, but they spoke in a very funny, serious way, and they actually are quite heartwarming stories about these characters who live sort of on the dark side.
Sunday's card at Aqueducts paid tribute to the late Damon Runyon with a stake in his name.
Deciphering Dreams just 4 from the front. Ram the trailer at the quarter pole. Bodobo Pray, Never Right Joy, Artie Loves to Party, Preaching to the Devil, Sky Music in behind him, and Deciphering Dreams. At the 8th pole, Bodobo Pray, in between horses, Artie Loves to Party. Those two nose to nose with 100 yards to go. Bodobo Pray, Artie Loves to Party, Bodobo Pray, and Artie Loves to Party. Bodobo Pray, the winner by a hard-fought neck.
Bit of time in the show. Let's quickly do a bullet drill.
All right.
You know, a couple of Thanksgiving questions. You and I touching base for the first time in about a week. So, the number of people at the Siegel Thanksgiving table?
We had 6. That's a small
nice,
family. Small family.
Group.
You know, I don't have a lot of you know.
How many helpings did you have?
I had one massive helping. I piled everything on my plate and ate until I couldn't eat anymore, and cleaned the plate.
And what were you thankful for?
Other than the fact that I had a 3-day vacation coming up, that we're only a month away from Santa Anita.
Yeah, we're thankful for you, the HRT.
Dottie and Gordo sheriffs joined Race Day America to talk about Zenyatta's final day in California.
We've had such an experience this last 4.5 years, and probably I'd say the last 3 years, to see how many people she's really touched. And I mean, John and I've experienced this firsthand. It's been absolutely amazing.
Well, Dottie, first of all, thank you, because, you know, not only has Zenyatta been so amazing, but you and your husband, John Sheriffs, and the Mosses and everybody involved have been so gracious in giving of her back to the people. And I guess that bodes well for Zenyatta because she allows it. You don't usually see that kind of demeanor with a really powerful racehorse and a record like that. Talk a little bit more about how willing she is to give of herself to people.
Oh, she's been absolutely spectacular. John's commented many times her personalities emerged throughout her career. obviously, when she came in, we were looking at some of the baby pictures the other day. He has a slideshow that just runs 24/7 on one of the computers at the house, and it's all of the horses in the barn, but primarily Zenyatta's got one section. And you see her standing at the starting gate the first time, you know, when she was standing there with two other horses. And, I mean, then she just developed and developed. It's been amazing. You know, we've had this practically every single day. I mean, it's just amazing. John has some amazing shots that we've taken over the time because we've tried to encourage as many people as possible to come out and see her and bring their children because we felt that she was that unique, that special, and they'll be telling their own grandchildren about her.
Dottie, how in the world is Mario going to say goodbye to Zenyatta, and will he travel with her to Kentucky and be with her when she parades at Keeneland?
Yes, he's going with her on the plane, as I believe Steve is, and then they're going to be coming back with us on Wednesday. So Mario, I just think that everyone in our entire barn's life, Zenyatta's life, is just so elated over the fact that she's accomplished so much. And yet she's retiring so sound and so happy and so full of life. I mean, you could not ask for a greater gift for her to have. I mean, it was all about bringing the sport together and exposing it to people in a way that it came back to be about the horse in horse racing.
Right.
And I think that's what's touched people's souls so much.
Parading in front of her fans for the last time in California, Queen Z, Zenyatta.
We were discussing earlier, it's a huge day here in Southern California, across town from Santa Anita, where we're based here on HRTV. It is Zenyatta Appreciation Day as Southern California and California bids farewell to the Queen.
No dance. She's not doing her normal dance.
She knows
today,
she's not racing.
She's actually prancing a little bit. I see the legs coming up. Not like her typical
mini dance.
self, though. Mini dance. And her last two farewell ceremonies, it was Mike Smith and exercise rider Steve Willard had the opportunity to gallop her on the racetrack, but a little bit handling this a little bit different today. No, there's no saddle. That's a pad that they have on her just to keep that saddle towel in place. But wow, yeah, look at all those people, John. There's a big turnout today at Hollywood.
That's great to see. Well, I was kind of hoping, and I was very greedy about it. I thought, who knows, maybe we'll get one more year out of her.
Me too.
But I think we were very blessed to get that 2010 campaign, because I sure thought really, and I was right there when Jerry Moss said it, she's done. I was sitting within about 5 steps of him when he said it, and he said, I haven't discussed it with my wife, I haven't discussed it with the trainer, John Sheriffs, I haven't discussed it with his wife, who's our racing manager, Donnie Engordo Sheriffs, who you had on Race Day America. But I mean, that's why there were 2 retirement ceremonies for Zenyatta. But you know, we did get this whole extra campaign from her this year, and so I think we were very lucky.
Monet Mary joined Race Day America to share some incredible paintings by horses done themselves.
We've got some really good named artists this year. I've got AP Indy, AP Jet, Awesome Again, Bia Bono, Big Brown, Cigar, Congaree, Curlin, DeHaas, Dynaformer, Einstein, Evening Attire, Flower Alley, Funny Side, Giacomo, Midnight Loot, Point Given, Smarty Jones, Sensational, and Zippy Chippy.
All right, this is already up and running on eBay. Anybody can view it. You have to have an account in order to bid, and the bidding has begun. Goes till the 5th of December. Tell our viewers how they can go online to take a look at the art and then what they have to do to bid on it.
Well, the easiest thing is just go ebay.com and type in the word Moneigh, M-O-N-E-I-G-H, that's the search word, or you can go to our website, rerun.org, and click on the rerun shop, and that'll take you to the link. And you just need an account in order to be able to bid, but anybody can look at them. They're fun to look at, so we want everybody to see them.
Mary, were you participating during the painting of these pictures with the horses yourself?
Right. I either help hold the paper and the paint for the horse, or I'm taking the pictures, as you're probably seeing some pictures now that I took. And I have another person, Debbie, that she does the painting, so we kind of trade off.
Now, the horses use muzzles, whiskers, hoofs, tails. There are a couple that have a paintbrush in their teeth. I think, is it Funnyside and Flower Alley that do that? I mean, describe how these horses kind of choose, or who chooses what part is going to be doing the art.
Well, we'll give it a try with the paintbrush. Some of them, Midnight Loot tried. Empire Maker does use a brush. Cigar always uses a brush, and Funnyside uses a brush. And we dip the brush into the paint and hand it to them, and they'll take it in their mouth, and then they'll swish it around on the paper.
Kentucky Horse Park's Cindy Rollman called in to discuss what's new in Lexington and to fill us in on a special program they're offering.
We've got a lot going on, even though this is normally a slow time of year for us, but it's also Southern Lights time of year, which is it's a beautiful 3-mile drive through the Kentucky Horse Park with lighted displays. We have more than 1 million lights in these beautiful displays through the park. And then we also have a lot of indoor activities that go along with Southern Lights.
Also an event coming up this weekend, a free gelding clinic, castrating those horses that need it and making that affordable for people.
Yes, we wanted to offer that to people who are financially unable to have their horses gelded. We had set a deadline of last week, but we do actually still have a few appointments available. So if you've got a financial need and you're having a hard time figuring out how you're going to get your horse gelded, please contact the Kentucky Horse Park immediately, and we will sure try to work you in and get that taken care of this weekend.
Cindy, what's the attendance rate been so far for this gelding clinic? Are people showing up with quite a few horses?
We still aren't sure exactly how many horses we're going to be able to geld, but thanks to the generosity of a lot of local equine veterinarians and the Kentucky Horse Council and the Kentucky Equine Humane Center, this has really been a group effort. We all recognize that we have a problem we have a horse overpopulation problem, and we also have a lot of people who take really good care of their horses and care very deeply about their horses who are just having a hard time right now, getting some of these things done. So we don't know exactly how many horses total we're going to end up being able to geld, but we will be able to do up to 40.
16 went postward at Hanshin Racecourse in Japan for the Japan Cup Dirt.
Transcend and Birdie. Just in behind them, Daishin Orange whacking away is La Verita. Running on is Glorious Noah, but it's still Transcend. Birdie's not too far away. Transcend, Birdie, nothing coming back from Glorious Noah. It's Transcend. Here comes Glorious Noah and late Maya Subaru. It's Transcend and Glorious Noah. Transcend scores.
That's all for this week on HRTV. Here's a look at what's coming up next week.
That's King Richard with the old beard there. He looks like
See
a bandito.
him rocking the cowboy hat and the beard?
Yeah, that's
a great shot.
I'm gonna go upstairs after my shift and show this picture to the higher ups here at HRTV and try to see if I can convince them to let me grow a beard like this. This is what I would look like.
And a hat and glasses. Aaron never asked for permission.
Well, I
say go for it.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with his man grooming, but I think I could rock the beard on air.